Tonight we begin our program in Rotorua. It's home to the sole surviving member of the 28 Māori Battalion, a man we found to be deeply contemplative about the role of war in our society and his own participation in it. As a 17-year-old, Bom Gillies left the shores of his hometown in Rotorua ready to serve for his country in World War II. Like many young men, he was hoping for the adventure of a lifetime, but the brutal reality of war soon hit home. Fighting on the front line of battlefields in Europe, where millions of people were killed. Today, the 98-year-old is the last surviving member of the 28th Māori Battalion. And as time has passed, his view of war is no longer the same.
I was always just one of the crowd, but now I'm the last one left. I've got to front up, and it's my duty to do it on behalf of those fellows who all passed on. Yeah, honour them.
What's it like for you on Anzac Day? When it comes to Anzac Day, what do you think about?
Anzac Day is a day of remembrance and honour the ope tuatahi. And that's all our crows, which I used to watch as a boy. And all the Maori soldiers and Maori military people who volunteered their lives. And some came home, passed away at home here, and the others still lie in foreign soil. It's an honour for them, to honour them.
Is there anyone in particular of those who never came home, even from here, from where we are here in Ohinemutu, of the many who went over and many who didn't make it back home, is there anyone in particular you think of and remember?
Oh, yeah. We all had a lot of mates, and you always think of them as mates. You wonder sometime what they went for and what they died for. Because I think the world is worse now than at that time.
Really?
I think so.
What makes you say that?
Oh, it's all power. Wars are created for power and money. And that shouldn't be like that. No one should lose their lives. They should be allowed to live their lives out.
You're talking about the futility of war?
Yes.
Even though you went to war?
Yeah, well, we thought, oh, it was great to go and see other places. And it was a different thing when we got there, though. Yeah, we realised the reality of war. And those memories still linger in your head. You never forget them.
How often do you get those lingering memories, as you call them?
Oh, it's there most of the time. Different times of the day you think about those fellas. Comes back into your head. But Anzac Day is a special day of remembrance to them.
I remember last year, we had you in Waitangi at an event there to acknowledge you after you received your knighthood. And I remember, I think it might have been Pita Tipene was asked to open the kōrero, and he broke down. He saw you and he said he couldn't help but think of all those ancestors, mātua kaumātua, who went to World War II. And when he sees you, he thinks about them. What's that like for you when people do that?
It makes me really deep in my thoughts, because I know that the tears are for those of their relations and the ones who died, almost for nothing.
You think that even now, almost for nothing?
Yeah. All the wars are fought, never solved anything. And now they've got Ukraine going. That should never have happened.
When you talk like that, I mean, there are a lot of Māori who are in the army now, in the Defence Forces. What do you think about that when you hear that so many are following in your footsteps?
Yeah, I think very deep about that. And I only wish they'd stay in civilian life, because what they're going for will be the same as what happened to us. We come back, nothing's changed. Peace is the best thing out, and nobody promotes it. They promote war, call for war. Nobody calls for peace. But I guess one day the world will wake up, I hope.
So when you hear about so many people talking about the feats and achievements of their ancestors in war and dying overseas, does a part of you still think that you wished it never happened?
Yes, I do, yeah.
For a lot of people, that would be a surprise to hear you say that.
Yeah, I know. We've got to be clear in our mind about what it's all about. It's only about killing people. When it comes down to the brutality of war, we're losing parts of our family, which is very hard to get over. I still got a great uncle lying in France, and I still think of him. Yeah. Uncle Walter. And a lot of people will have bodies still in other places, even in Malaya and Vietnam. Some of our kin there should have been at home here. It's very sad. Very sad. War never solves anything.
So what do you want the legacy of the Tuat Māori Battalion to be?
Well, the main thing is that there was about 3,000 men served in the battalion, and about nearly 600, I think, didn't come home. And I think back, and what did they waste their lives for? There's a lot of grievance to the families, and I think it wasn't worthwhile. If I had my time over again, what I know now, I would have stayed at home. I would have been an objector, conscientious objector.
Really?
Yeah, for peace.
If you'd done that, what do you think?
Oh, I would have been slammed by the average person in New Zealand. It was the way they think, which I was thinking that way. All the objectors, we just used it. They called it white feather people. But I think they were right to promote peace.
And I wonder what your message is to, particularly rangatahi. I mean, you're 98 now, as we approach Anzac Day. What do you say to rangatahi when you talk with them? Because they all look up to you.
Stay real to your Māori tongue. I tell them to learn a bit about the religion, and in reality, treat the people like you treat your own family. That's the best way. All get on together.